So we've got the fruit and the nuts all chopped up, and the butter and the sugar creamed.
With the eggs added to it that still need to be incorporated a little bit more.
Okay.
But I'm just scraping down the bowl to give the machine a little bit of a better chance. And then you add the flour mixture.
So it's flour, salt, baking powder, and cinnamon, right?
Yes.
When do you put the vanilla in?
At the end.
All right.
That's pretty standard. And you alternate the flour mixture with the whiskey.
How much whiskey total goes in here?
A cup total, but you only put a half a cup in the batter.
Mm-hmm.
Then right when it comes out of the oven, you paint the top of the cake with a quarter cup of whiskey. And then when the cake is almost cool and you take it out of the pan, you paint the rest of the quarter cup of whiskey. A total of 1 cup of whiskey goes into the cake. But
do you just paint it on, or do you poke the cake?
I just paint it on with a brush.
Okay.
And then, depending on how long it's aging, I will sometimes add more whiskey to it.
Right.
You know, when I check the cake to see how good it's going to be. And then I'll add some more. I'll paint it with some more whiskey, maybe 1/8 of a cup.
And so if you have another incident where you have your cake sitting around for 6 months, you refresh it with more whiskey, right?
Yep.
So how often would you do that?
Oh, maybe, you know, two times tops, maybe. You don't want it to get real soggy.
Yeah.
So, but it does tend to dry out. So it just refreshes it a little bit if you add more whiskey.
Do you ever put any kind of fondant on your fruitcake?
No. Basically, because I don't know what fondant is.
Really?
Is it like icing?
When you have a wedding cake,
Yeah.
the real fancy frosting that's like, it's like tough and chewy, and it goes on outside of the buttercream.
It's like a big sheet that you mold it.
Yeah, and you can make it. You can cut it into shapes.
Yeah, no.
I do not like fondant, but a lot of people love it. But that was traditional. It used to be, you know, fruitcake used to be, you got married.
And the fruitcake was the wedding cake.
Yeah, and the whole, you saved 1 layer for your first anniversary. It's because it was fruitcake covered in fondant. So basically it would last forever.
I'm going to put the vanilla in 2 teaspoons. It's right at the end. And with the whiskey, I'm not understanding why you do this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But you do. It just calls for it. I've always just followed the recipe. And this came from a newspaper of some kind. I don't even remember which one it was. I would hazard a guess that it was either the Tribune or the Southern Illinoisan. Because the first time I made this cake was in Southern Illinois when we were in college. And those are the only 2 papers that we really ever read back then.
And I noticed you have written notes on the original recipe saying how much it cost in 1977. You used to do that a lot.
Yeah, it was, you know, this is an expensive cake to make.
Yeah.
And so as I was going along raising children, I kind of wanted to get an idea of whether or not I could afford to even make it. So when I first started making it, I did write down how much it cost so I could compare. And the price of it hasn't really changed that much.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So the thing that's the most expensive in this cake, besides the whiskey, you only use a cup of it, but you know the whole bottle gets used eventually.
Yes.
But the pineapple candied pineapple is the most expensive, part of this. It's almost like $8 for a half a cup of pineapple.
Wow.
It's very expensive.